Welcome back. This is the Widebody Challenge video 2. This is not going to be a video that Ben sees. If you watched my last video, Ben's the guy who's challenged me to do a wide body on my car. You can't see it, you can only see my truck. Actually, I have another camera. You've seen it in the last video. I introduced the Widebody Challenge along with Ben. So what we're doing is, he's doing it on his car, I'm doing it on my car. We're going to film a series of videos. Most of the footage, neither of us, Ben or I, are going to see before the end, before the reveal. You guys are going to vote on which one you like better. The purpose of this video is to go through our design. He's doing the same type of video to show his design, to show how he thinks he's going to get this done, to show all the materials, what he wants it to look like. And I'm going to do the same right now. So, let's jump right into it. So this piece of paper is showing just a really rough design. It's just a sketch that I did. Believe it or not, that was my best course in university, was sketching. This up here is showing the rear, and this here is showing the front, obviously from the side. So this would be front and rear, passenger side. Sorry, passenger side if you're right-hand drive. This is actually the driver's side on mine. It'll be the passenger side on Ben's, ha ha ha. And then this sketch here is showing approximately what each piece that I just showed you is going to look like from the front. So this is the rear view of those pieces, and these two are the front view of those pieces. So these are just really rough ideas about what I want to do. A lot of this is going to be a field fit project here, so I'm going to cut the material out approximately, several inches bigger than this outline here, and then try to work it to be whatever this shape is. But the final shape may not be exactly these shapes. I think it's going to be close. I'm pretty happy with these two. This top one though, maybe not quite as happy with. I might have to work on this a little bit. I think I want something with a few smoother lines in it, but we'll see. And there's some details that I want to add as well to make it a bit unique. It depends how things go, to be honest. What I add, what I don't add, in the end, I may end up keeping it a little simpler just because I've never done anything like this before. On to the materials. You can see over here that blue thing behind my other camera. And yes, my garage is a fucking mess. I know this. And you know what? If you don't have a lot of stuff and you're not a little bit messy, it means you're not creative. It means you're not trying hard enough. At least that's what I tell myself, and it works. So those sheets of aluminum by my other camera there, they're covered in the green protective plastic right now, but there's 4 sheets there, one for each corner of the car. The issue is I did a very bad. I bought stuff without measuring. I was like, hell yeah, I know the size, just by guessing in my head without even looking. Never mind putting a measuring tape up to it, but not even looking. Anyways, those pieces of metal are a little too small. But there might be enough material to make it work still, to make it fit on the car. So what I ended up doing with these designs, you can see how it's split into different pieces here. There's these lines, and then it'll be somehow attached in between. So there's probably going to be 3 or 4 pieces for this one, and at least 3 for this one as well. But whatever, you roll with it. You make a mistake, I can't take the aluminum back to the store, so we may be stuck with that. So now,
just a quick update on design here that I didn't go through yesterday, mostly because I didn't even realize this until today. I was thinking about ways to set this wide body project apart maybe give me an edge over whatever Ben's doing. But I came across a post on Instagram showing a custom mud flap that somebody had designed. So I put together this little really basic sketch. I can extend this mud flap, just a really rough sketch, to cover the entire wheel, so whatever distance I have here, which will be a little more than 2 inches with the spacers, and just make a nice piece that I'm hoping will be something extra, a bit of a surprise for Ben. Another inserted update for you guys. So I ended up sketching the wide body pieces on a little blueprint-ish drawing just to get a basic idea of what this thing's going to look like. And I'm really liking it. I did change this piece here, like I said before. The lines were a bit too pointy and wasn't quite the right shape. I'm going to have to figure out what to do about the corner light here. Try to figure out if I can actually transfer that onto this wide body fender, and I'll figure something out. But I really like this diagram, and it's going to help me really visualize in my head how to install this, how to fabricate these pieces. Basically, I have something to look forward to or look towards as a goal when I do this.
So now we're going to take a look at some tools. Obviously, measuring tape. We're going to take it up to the car and measure a bunch of stuff, make sure, or put some basic measurements on these designs here. And this tool here, riv nut tool, I've never owned one of these before, and I don't know if this will exactly work, but I'm just guessing. I have a pretty good track record of just guessing if things will work and buying all the tools and materials, and then they end up working, maybe with a little bit of justification to the plan as I'm going along. So we've got some epoxy, because you never know when you're going to need some epoxy, and it's got the self-mixing tips too, which I find really convenient. And the trick with that is to be able to clean them properly after you use them so you can use them again. I've got this sheet metal bender, files, bunch of files, tons of files. You never know when you're going to need some files. And this stuff, this plastic stuff for edging the aluminum. Haha, I said edging. Basically, this will go along the edge of the panel, fit along the body of the car. So essentially, I don't want it to scratch the paint around the edges here. So it's going to, well, not here, this is the fender, but up here, for example, it's going to be touching the body essentially. And it'll be a nice black, clean look. Once you go black, you never go white, or whatever they say. This is the hardware for the riv nuts. So there's a whole bunch of screws. I actually bought 2 sizes because then I can use 2 different sizes of riv nuts. And hopefully these are all the riv nuts here. Hopefully I don't run out of riv nuts. But if I do, what can you do? You just buy more. And over here we've got some spacers. I'm gonna show you guys the spacers a bit later. I mean, not in this video, but save that for another video. This thing, so this is basically metalworking dollies and hammers. I bought the second cheapest kit on Amazon because it got better reviews than the cheapest kit. I think it's going to work. Just looking at this, it's kind of like, well, this is going to be a total hack and going to take a lot of time. I was going to say forever, but it can't take forever because we're going to be done this challenge by the middle of June, or maybe end of June. Anyways, soon. Those are basically all the tools. Oh, look, we got some more riv nuts here too. And the other thing I want to show you, the propane torch. So I was reading online. You might be wondering why I went with aluminum and not steel. Steel prices have gone up a lot. Steel's a bit easier to work, meaning you can probably get away without annealing it, especially the amount that I need to work this metal. But this torch, it's just a propane torch. Reading online, apparently it's hot enough to anneal aluminum. And that's going to be necessary because I don't know if you've ever worked with aluminum at all. You bend it back and forth a few times, it cracks. Gets way too cold worked and ends up cracking on you. If you anneal it, the annealing temperature of aluminum, I forget what it is, but lower than the propane flame apparently. I mean, really what I'm going to have to do is practice a little bit on some other scrap pieces of aluminum, which I have sitting around here in this mess. Just give it a shot, work with it as much as I can before trying the real deal. I considered making cardboard copies for this design and putting them on the car, fitting them on the car first. But I'm like, that's probably going to take half the amount of time it would take to actually do the wide body. If I wanted to do it to be correct and actually look good, to be honest with you, I'm really good at visualizing shit before I do it. I'm just going to practice and jump right the fuck in. Wish me luck, or hope I break a leg. Let me take you to the car now and I'll show you what I had in mind for these designs. So, we have the rear of the car here. This is really going to be a modest wide body in both rear and front. Because, honestly, man, I don't have the money for new wheels to make this wider. New wheels and tires. So I'm thinking about 2 inches here in the rear and about only 1 inch in the front. So in order for this wide body to stand out, I have this feeling Ben's going to go bigger because he already has wide wheels and he can put spacers on his wide wheels and it'll be just fucking crazy. But I think I'll be able to be competitive here, even if I don't win. I'll be like the Toronto Maple Leafs this year. Even though they didn't win the first series, they told everybody they were competitive. Yeah. So yeah, especially in the front, it's going to be tricky to do a decent wide body with only 1 inch, but I think it's going to stand out in its own way. I'm quite nervous to cut my car. Ben has all the cars, so he doesn't really need to feel too bad about cutting into one of his cars, but this is the car that I've spent my life savings on. Yeah, it's gonna be tough cutting into this thing, but what can you do? Just do lots of research as always and know that I'm not going to actually do the cutting before I'm ready to put the wide body on. It's going to be a back and forth, pounding this into a certain shape, then fitting it on, pounding it some more, fitting it on again. Measure 40 times before you cut. I think that's how the saying goes. So that's really about everything I can show you guys right now. Definitely head over to Ben's channel because he'll have parallel videos to this and all the other videos, and you can watch his intro video as well. You can see his car, you can see all his cars. So this is all the tools. That's my plan for now. The rough idea, the plan going forward, the procedure. I'm going to have to watch a lot of YouTube videos on how to work sheet metal and aluminum, and hopefully this kit with the dollies and hammers is going to work out for me. Crossing my fingers, right? But you're going to find out in the next video, so keep watching. Give this a thumbs down or a thumbs up or whatever you want. Thanks for watching Detsum Customs. I'm Lee Detsum. Putting Ben's channel in the description. Subscribe to him. You'll learn a lot from him, more than me. Actually, maybe not, but just kidding. He's a great guy, fun to watch. Thanks. I'll see you later, guys. sometimes you fuck up and have to delete all your stupid videos that weren't very good in the first place.